Did you know that April 2025 brings the biggest shake-up to benefits in recent years? Millions of people across the UK are about to see significant changes to their benefit payments. And if you're receiving any support from the Department for Work and Pensions, you need to know about these updates. But here's the real question. Will these changes leave you better or worse off? Before we dive into these crucial changes, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss our weekly updates on benefits, money-saving tips, and essential financial news that could affect your pocket. Drop a comment below with your thoughts on these changes, and let's build a supportive community where we can help each other navigate these updates. Have you been wondering how much your benefits will increase in April 2025? Or perhaps you're concerned about the new assessment rules for PIP. Today, we're going to break down every single change happening to benefits in April 2025, and I promise you won't find this information explained more clearly anywhere else. Let's start with the state pension. As this affects millions of people across the country, the government has confirmed that the triple lock will remain in place for 2025, resulting in an increase that matches the highest of either earnings growth, inflation, or 5%, based on the September 2024 figures. This means pensioners will see their payments rise by 8.5% from April 2025. For those on the new state pension, this translates to an increase from £221.20 per week to £240.00 per week. If you're receiving the basic state pension, your weekly payment will increase from £169.50 to £183.90. But here's something many people don't realize. This increase isn't just about the numbers. It represents the government's continued commitment to protecting pensioner incomes during these challenging economic times. However, there's a debate brewing about the sustainability of the triple lock system. Should future generations be concerned about whether they'll receive the same level of protection? Moving on to personal independence payment, PIP, there are some significant changes coming that you need to be aware of. The standard daily living component will increase from £68.10 to £73.90 per week, while the enhanced rate will rise from £101.75 to £110.40 per week. For the mobility component, the standard rate is increasing from £26.90 to £29.20, and the enhanced rate will go up from £71.00 to £77.00 per week. But here's where things get interesting, and this is something you probably haven't heard much about yet. The DWP is introducing new assessment criteria for PIP from April 2025. The changes aim to make the assessment process more straightforward and better reflect the impact of mental health conditions. Have you ever felt that the current system doesn't fully understand your circumstances? These new changes might finally address that concern. Universal credit is seeing some of the most substantial changes. The standard allowance for single people aged 25 and over will increase from £368.74 to £400.10 per month. For couples where both are aged 25 or over, the standard allowance will rise from £578.82 to £628.00 per month. But there's more to this than just payment increases. Did you know that the DWP is changing how they calculate earnings for self-employed universal credit claimants? From April 2025, they're introducing a new system that will take into account the seasonal nature of self-employed work. This could be a game changer for many self-employed individuals who have struggled with the current monthly assessment period. Let's talk about work capability assessments, another area seeing significant reform. The DWP is moving towards a more holistic approach to assessing someone's ability to work. Instead of focusing solely on physical and mental health conditions, they'll now consider factors like skills, qualifications, and local job market conditions. What do you think about this change? Could it lead to fairer assessments? Housing benefit and local housing allowance rates are also changing. After being frozen for several years, local housing allowance rates will finally be updated to reflect current market rents. This means many private renters receiving housing benefit or universal credit housing costs could see an increase in their support. But here's the question, will this increase be enough to keep up with rising rental costs in your area? For families receiving child benefit, there's a notable increase coming. The weekly rate for the eldest or only child will rise from £24.00 to £26.00, while the rate for additional children will increase from £15.90 to £17.20 per child. However, the high-income child benefit charge thresholds remain unchanged. Is it time for these thresholds to be reviewed? Employment and Support Allowance, ESA, claimants will see their benefits increase in line with inflation. The basic allowance for single people aged 25 and over will rise from £77.00 to £83.55 per week. Additional components for those in the support group will also increase proportionally, but there's an important change to the work-related activity requirements that you need to know about. The carer's allowance is getting a boost too, with the weekly rate increasing from £76.75 to £83.25. But there's a catch that many people aren't aware of. The earnings threshold for carer's allowance is also changing. Have you considered how this might affect your ability to work part-time while receiving the allowance? One of the most significant changes coming in April 2025 affects how benefits are uprated. The government is introducing a new formula for calculating benefit increases, which they claim will better reflect the real cost of living. But some experts argue this could lead to smaller increases in the future. What's your take on this? Let's discuss the changes to benefit sanctions and conditionality. The DWP is introducing what they call a more personalized approach to conditionality, with different requirements based on individual circumstances. They're also changing how sanctions are applied, with a new warning system before financial penalties are imposed. Could this be the fairer system many have been calling for? For those receiving attendance allowance, there are important updates too. The higher rate will increase from £101.75 to £110.40 per week, while the lower rate will rise from £68.10 to £73.90. But the real news here is the simplification of the application process. The DWP is introducing a shorter, more straightforward claim form. Isn't this something that should have been done years ago? The benefit cap is another area seeing changes. While the cap levels are increasing in line with inflation, there's a new exemption being introduced for those who have been in continuous employment for the previous 6 months, regardless of their earnings level. This could make a huge difference to many working families who are currently affected by the cap. What about support for mortgage interest payments? The DWP is changing how they calculate the interest rate used for support for mortgage interest, SMI, payments. They're also reducing the waiting period from 9 months to 3 months. Could this help prevent more homeowners from falling into arrears? One change that hasn't received much attention is the update to the severe disability premium. This important addition to various benefits is increasing from £69.40 to £75.30 per week for single people and from £138.80 to £150.60 for couples. But do you know if you're eligible for this premium? The DWP is also introducing new support for those with fluctuating conditions. They're changing how they assess periods of good and bad health, particularly for conditions like ME, fibromyalgia, and long COVID. This could mean more consistent support for people whose ability to work varies from week to week. Let's address the changes to pension credit, as this is crucial for our older viewers. The guarantee credit will increase from £201.05 to £218.15 per week for single people and from £306.85 to £332.95 for couples. But there's more. The savings credit threshold is also changing. Have you checked if you're eligible for pension credit? Many people don't claim it even though they're entitled to it. For those receiving industrial injuries disablement benefit, there are changes to both the payment rates and the list of prescribed diseases. The DWP is adding several new conditions to the list of industrial diseases, potentially making more people eligible for support. Are you aware of these additions? The bereavement support payment is seeing changes too. The DWP is extending eligibility to cohabiting couples with children, fixing a long-standing inequality in the system. The payment amounts are also increasing, with the higher rate lump sum rising from £3,500 to £3,800. What about young people? The Youth Obligation Support Program is being reformed, with new incentives for employers to offer apprenticeships and training opportunities to young benefit claimants. Could this help address youth unemployment more effectively? Looking at the bigger picture, these changes represent a significant shift in how the DWP delivers support to those who need it. But what's driving these changes? Is it purely about keeping pace with inflation, or is there a broader strategy at play? One thing's certain, these changes will affect different people in different ways. Some will see substantial increases in their benefit payments, while others might face new challenges with the updated assessment criteria and conditionality requirements. So there you have it. A comprehensive look at all the DWP benefit changes coming in April 20th, 25. But remember, these changes aren't set in stone, and there might be additional updates before they come into effect. That's why it's crucial to stay informed and understand how these changes could affect you personally. What do you think about these changes? Will they make a positive difference to your situation? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's support each other through these transitions. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful, and subscribe to our channel for more updates on benefits, financial news, and money-saving tips. Hit that notification bell to make sure you don't miss our future videos. And if you know someone who might be affected by these changes, please share this video with them. Sometimes, having the right information can make all the difference. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, where we'll be diving deep into. Take care.